Orji Uzor they talk go one side, Abaribe they talk go another side. Senator Orji Uzor don't talk say the Southeast region they happy with Tinubu government. He said they happy with every appointment when Tinubu give the region, so they know the verse. Remember, I said Senator Abaribe come out recently, come to say the president is nepotistic. He said because they give the appointment what Southeast deserve to them.
But the last time we had a conversation was days ahead of the 2023 election. A very robust conversation about the chances of your party, the APC, and former President Olusegun Obasanjo's third-term bid. It was quite an expose. Now, one of the things that happened was your quest to become Senate President, and later you opted out. Are you satisfied with the current leadership of the Senate, headed by Senator Godswill Akpabio?
Well, we're in the Senate, we're doing our work, and there's no division in the Senate. That is what is most important. And everybody is trying their best to make sure that we support Nigerian people coming out of economic problems. So that is more important to me than hunger. So we're just there doing the job, doing it very well.
You know, I asked the question because recently the National Assembly, the Senate passed a vote of confidence on the leadership of the Senate. And Nigerians are wondering who is not happy with the leadership of the Senate. But, you know, currently the highest ranking Southeast politician is the Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps, Benjamin Kalu. Some believe then that the Southeast should have emerged Senate President. What do you think?
Well, the dynamics have made it that Southeast is not Senate President. We're in democracy. It's a continuous work in progress. So we are not, we are very grateful to the nation for even them giving us something. In the few years ago, we have nothing about this. So we are very grateful that we even had something. So it's a work in progress, as usual. We are working hard, and it's work in progress.
So have you ever thought that perhaps the Southeast was cheated in that regard?
Well, I'm not somebody to complain. I told you that it's a work in progress. We are working very hard to make sure we belong to where other Nigerians are. And whether we are cheated or not, the job is work in progress, always. So when it's work in progress, we're doing the job. We have been before without anything. We have been before where we had no service chief, we have no deputy speaker, we have nothing. So it's a work in progress. We are very satisfied because at anywhere you find yourself, you give thanks to God, and that is the most important thing. So the important thing is to continue, be alive, be in good health, and work further. If you are not getting to your destination, you will get to your destination one day. So getting to your destination or South is getting to where they want to be, it's a question of time. One thing that don't happen today might happen tomorrow. Okay.
All right. In that regard, Senator, let's talk about the relationship between the executive and the legislative arm of government. How are the lawmakers assisting the executive to deliver democracy dividends to Nigerians? How will you describe the relationship between the legislature and the executive arm of government in this administration?
Well, there is no bad blood relationship between the executive and the legislative. We have a very good relationship with them, and the relationship is not the best, I can say, but it's the one that we can put on table to make sure that we fast track most of the bills that will bring lifting Nigerian people out of hunger or lifting them out of poverty. We are committed to doing those kind of bills. We are committed to making sure that we do not see as people who are quarreling with the executive. So this is why anything we can do through the Senate President and the leadership of the Senate, anything we can do, we try to do anything possible to make sure that the bills get back to the executive. So the Senate is one Senate, and we are not divided at all. We are one Senate under the leadership of Godswill Akpabio.
Let's stay on this because when the 10th Senate was inaugurated, one of the key items on the agenda was smooth legislative-executive relationship to foster democracy. How well will you say this has been pursued? Is it too early for Nigerians to say the 10th Assembly is rubber-stamped?
Well, it's too early because it's just 18 months. Let us make few more months on top of it and see how it goes. But we have a good relationship where we are doing our best because of the economic problems. Even in areas we can disagree with the executive, we try not to bring a lot of quarrel. We try to make sure we patch the bucket so it will not leak water for Nigerian people to be blamed that what they required to change the economy or to change anything is not properly in shape.
Because part of the legislative agenda of the 10th Senate is also engagement with citizens and oversight duties. How will you describe the way the Senate has gone about this?
Well, some senators go for oversight, and I'm sure many committees are out doing their oversights and seeing what they want to say and getting back the reports, working within their committees, and not without friction with the executive. So they don't have frictions, and the way they are going about it, they are doing their best to make sure that what is required by law, by the Senate, and by the people that they do it.
Senator, I wanted you to also speak to engagement with citizens. How would you describe the way the Senate has gone about this?
Our engagement with the citizens, we are engaging them, honestly. On my part, on any senator's part, we engage our constituencies, we ask them what they want us to focus on, and they tell us. So the engagement is very cordial on my own part in my constituency, which is Abia North Senatorial District. We rely much on what they do for us, and they also rely on what we do for them. So the citizens have been very, 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 very supportive in what we are doing in the Senate for now.
You know, I asked that question because the 10th Assembly, especially the House of Reps, is very particular about open parliament, which, according to rep members who have been on this program, encourages transparency, participation, and accountability throughout the legislative process. How bothered are you that despite these efforts, the National Assembly is seen by many as a corrupt and frivolous institution? Why do you think Nigerians have this perception?
Well, I don't know where the Nigerians get their impression from, because in the Senate where I work, there's nothing like that. I've never seen any, possibly because my contact with people, I don't think that Nigerian people have a good, the impression they have about the National Assembly is not what happens there in what I have seen, unless there's something they're doing behind me or behind any other person.
When you say it's not what happens there, Senator, what do you mean when you say it's not what happens there?
It's just what you speak to me about. I say what impression Nigerian people are having is not what happened in the National Assembly. There are more serious work to be done there. There was a day I brought a journalist like you in the National Assembly. I kept him there for 2-3 days, and he walked around with me for that week. He said, "Oh, I never know you guys are this busy." I said, "This is what we see every day. You can't believe this is the fourth long occasion I'm entering today, and this is going to be the shortest." Since today, I have been in Hilton, where I went for the House of Representatives job, constitutional amendment. I came back to enter into a meeting with the Senate President, which just finished about some minutes past 6. And I went to my office, had some little meeting. I'm back here at home. Look at, so you can see that it's not an easy life to live, Jumoke.
I mean, when you say you do not know, I'm sure Nigerians are surprised, because as a two-term senator, I'm sure you would not blame Nigerians for not trusting you and your colleague senator, especially when some senators, rep members, have also accused their leaders of budget padding, siphoning funds meant for constituency projects. And to crown it all, Nigerians also believe that former President Buhari's huge party debt profile was enabled by the 9th Assembly, which you were a part of. And agreeably, these issues have contributed to this trust deficit. So how is the current leadership changing this perception?
No, I'm not going to answer that question, because that question looked more rude to start calling a president that is in his village now. If we want to discuss current issue, we can discuss it. I've told your colleagues I can never discuss Buhari. It's not on my nature. God has given every leader or leaders their own time, what they can do with leadership. God has created a role every leader will play when he's on the saddle of events. God has given leaders their own wisdom to be able to lead. So I don't like people continue discussing past leaders, present leaders. Let's discuss what is in front of us as a country, and we can discuss that. Allow Buhari to rest.
Senator, this is not a Buhari conversation. This is not a Buhari conversation. It's about the perception Nigerians have about the Senate. And I just asked, how is the Senate leadership or the leadership of the 10th Assembly changing that perception or that narrative?
Well, there is nothing you have told you before. I said there's one Senate and we're working as a one Senate. And we have no problem whatsoever. I thought there's no narrative, because you see, there was no, Buhari didn't even give anybody money in the Senate. There's nothing like that. There is nothing like that. If they gave, I'm not aware. But what I want to tell you is that it is not always good as a country. Every time we continue blaming past leaders and blaming present leaders, let us work together and see how we can come out of economic problems. I'm saddened because I'm an employer of labor. I want to see how the situation we are in, that will come out of it. That every day we are blaming Peter, we are blaming Paul, we are blaming, one day we'll blame you, Jumoke. One day we'll call your name and blame you. So that is what I'm going to do. And that is what Nigerian people will do soon. So let us focus on what will benefit this country. And every time we are trying to pull our people in the price of leadership down or do this or do that, I think it's not the best of all we can do.
All right, Senator, just to be clear, it wasn't a Buhari conversation. It was for you to just help us with how the Senate leadership is changing the kind of narrative Nigerians have about the Senate. But let's look at other matters. The cost of running government
in Nigeria up to Nigerian people to have what? Yes.
Has been on the increase over the years, to the extent that stakeholders are worried about the problem and are seeking ways to address this anomaly, posing fundamental threats to the nation's development. You look at the implementation of the Orji report. This was something Mr. President considered. Mr. President slashed the number of his entourage and foreign and domestic travels. He merged some MDAs as part of the recommendation of the Orji report. For you, what more can government do to bring about more structural, effective and enduring response to this fiscal recklessness in government?
I didn't hear you well, but if I might say what you had, you are asking me about Orji report, isn't it?
Orji report and the cost of running governments in Nigeria.
Honestly, I'm your supporter in that line. I have, even personally, in private moments, mentioned it to the president. We need to reduce expenditure running of government. We need to reduce the parastatals. We need to reduce the number of appointees. We need to reduce the number of everything that we do, even cars, even the dresses we wear, we should reduce it. But what I disagree with people is to tell president to stop traveling. Presidents have to be on the move to be able to get new investment. I support the president because the president is the face of the country. He has to, is the chief marketing officer of the country. That is why he has a lot of aides. He has a lot of people working. He has a lot of ministers, a lot of advisors. So as a chief marketing officer, the president have to be on the move. First, looking for business. Secondly, looking for the marketing of the country and selling the country in the right direction for foreign direct investment. So I agree that Orasanya report should be implemented.
But you look at enforcing monetization policy of government as part of cutting the cost of governance. Many say, if indeed we're serious about this, government should discontinue provision of houses and vehicles to officers whose allowances are already monetized. Is this something we should consider as a country?
No, I don't work in the department where they monetize vehicles. Where we work in the Senate, I mean, is how we work is the vehicles we have is owned by the committees. So it's given to the chairman of the committees. So I don't know what other department does. So I believe that the cost of running government in Nigeria is very high. Not only by this administration, by all the administration since since democracy started.
But Senator, is it even realistic?
Say it again, please.
Is it realistic?
It is not realistic. That is what I told you, that it is not realistic to continue running government with high costs, because a lot of money that could have used to implement into other issues, we're losing those lines to be able to use it to further build on education or hospitals and all the rest of them routes. For me, I believe that we should start being realistic as leaders and followers of the country. The followers and the leaders should be very realistic, because some of the followers and the leaders are not realistic.
But, you know, Senator, people in government, you know, continue to say or encourage Nigerians to bear with government. But Nigerians are asking the president to address this insensitive lifestyles and attitudes of Nigeria's elected and appointed officials. Nigerians are saying people in government must sacrifice as much as ordinary Nigerians are also sacrificing. Some say even more. But I'm happy you're here tonight because you've alleged that members of the executives use 4 to 5 cars, but there is no spotlight on them. And I also remember that the House of Reps announced to Nigerians that they would donate 50%.
But you should also remember that. You should also remember. You should remember a few months ago, President Tinubu asked the ministers to start using 3 cars. And most of them are complying. And most of them are even using 2. The other day, I saw one of the ministers, I don't want to call, I saw one of the ministers. He came to a committee which I was in, and when he was going, I saw him leaving with 2 cars. I mean, it makes a lot of impression on that. So one was carrying him, the other was carrying his aides. So, I mean, I think these things will come into us gradually, the way we are doing, the way we are coming, because our people still think that government is where you have to show off who you are, what you are. But government should be a sacrifice that will leave our private domains, private businesses to come and join government. It's to help to direct how things should be done. not where we necessarily should show up. But a lot of Nigerians use the symbol of government as a show off. Some people elected and appointed, they don't even know that the sacrifice they should be making is for the people of our country. And the people should benefit from their ideas, not from the show or high level of burial, high level of parties or high level of things they do. No, that is not it. It's a sacrifice to be able to work for betterment of our country.
But how is the Senate also addressing this high cost of governance in the chamber? Because, I mean, like I was saying before you interrupted, the House of Reps announced...
Well, you always say the Senate, the Senate, the Senate. The Senate, for God's sake, is not the executive. Our duty is to make law and give them the law to implement. No, because everybody is just saying the Senate, the House of Reps, the House of... We are legislators, for God's sake, Jumoke. We are legislators. Our duty is to make the law. If I'm giving you, if you are getting your budget, I will approve the budget you should do. We approve your taxation. We approve your this and that. It's left for you for implementation. It's no longer in our board. We are not going to force the executive to do what they're supposed to do as executive. Our duty is just like me going to write a judgment for a judge that sits in a court. It's not possible. So a judge in the court cannot come into the chambers to write a bill to an act for us as a legislators. It's not possible. So our duty is to make laws for the executive. We make laws for them and we give it to them to go and implement and oversight them, whether they are doing what we pass in the budget. That is our job. The Nigerian people think that the legislators will do everything. The legislators will pull down the building and rebuild it in one day. It's not possible, for God's sake. This is where we are.
Senator, I was going somewhere before you jumped in, but let's look at this angle. Do we really need a bicameral legislature? Or we must begin to look at the implementation of a part-time legislature at both federal and state levels, as you've suggested?
Honestly, I've said so many times. You know, I have said that, Jumoke. I don't know whether it's in your show or Babajide's show. I've said that for me, if you allow me to say, we should have a single legislator group. We don't even need to have two houses. It's either we modify the Senate or we modify the House of Rep and continue with our presidential system, or we are going parliamentary or anything. So these are options, because people are thinking. I have some people in the Senate today who thinks, I have 2 or 3 people who have told me, if they have known, they will not leave their business to come here and be carrying bad names. I say, this is what we are used to it. So you welcome, you sit down. Because some of them thinks that even if they make the sacrifice to leave their business to come or leave their professional body to come, they are thinking at least they will, they say every day they go home, the constituent will not allow them to rest. They will, people that their children in the hospital, people their children did not go to school, people of all kinds of complaints, they'll come to we are the nearest to the people that elected us. You see it? So for me, I think that we should have a bicameral legislation. So it will help the country. It's going to save the country. Like South Africa, they have one parliament. Ghana have one parliament, and they are practicing presidential system. We can. These are things we need to sit down and talk about. We should forget our ego. We should forget who we are. We should forget what we are thinking about. It is just like the people talking 1 term, 6 years. It's not a bad idea, because the money we use in doing second term is killing. Go and look at the budget, and because of this second term, people are fighting to kill. People are fighting to die. So if we can say from now, all those that win election in 2027, they will say only 6 year 1 term. They go. From 2027, we'll make the law now and get it ready for 2027. the governors and the presidents will do one term 6 years, and they will go. But in no legislature is a continuous exercise. As long as the older you are in the parliament, the better for the constituency.
And let's talk about Simon Ekpa's arrest and the implication on Southeast security. Because in the same breath, the call for the release of Nnamdi Kanu has now intensified. First, what's your take, and how do you think his release will impact on the Southeast and Nigeria at large?
Well, I don't like to talk about Nnamdi Kanu because we are doing a very behind diplomatic channels, but because the matter is before a court of record, I don't like to discuss it because I know the value of a court. I know the value of when matter is in court. Remember, the last time he was left for some few years ago, I did that diplomatic outing and reached out to a man called Lawan Daura, who was DGSSS. I reached out to the president, Buhari then, and the court granted him bail, and I'm sure that we are talking on back end to see what can be done. But since it's before the court of record, I might not like to discuss what is before the court. So, but I know we are hopeful that something will be done. And the security of Southeast, I'm sure the young people who are causing these security problems will have a rethink, because we don't need to be shooting ourselves to have prosperity. If we are looking for prosperity, we must reassess and ask our people, ourselves, another questions about what we are going to be doing. Honestly, the governors should up their games. The 5 governors, they should come together, work out a plan, work out a clear plan that will give our people respite and relief. And I would like to advise the military, the security agencies, they should escalate checkpoints. There are too many checkpoints in the Southeast. It's annoying. I went from Enugu to my village in Ibere to over 60 checkpoints in less than 1 hour, 40 minutes journey. And it is not to the best of our interests. And everywhere you go, and the worst part of it, that this type, if you are in a bus, the bus will come, they ask the bus people to come down and move with leg and cross. So these are things I'm going to be tabling to some security chiefs in the days to come. The security chiefs should, this is why they should work with more intelligence than gun. Guns don't solve problems. Mind you, I was governor there before. Before I became governor, there was a huge security problem before I came in. And I cleared the security problems. And after clearing the one in Abia, I also went further to clear the one in Nnewi and Onitsha. I helped them to clear it. So they invited me, I helped them set up the system and clear the place. So, and our governors as a regional power, they have not even been interested or calling us to say, how do you contribute? How do you, in terms of talking? They are political leaders. Each
Absolutely,
of every
because Senator, I was coming there. I was coming there because some Nigerians have said insecurity in the Southeast intensified because Southeast governors and leaders like yourself have remained silent for so long.
No, I'm a legislator. I'm not a political, I'm not a leader. All the Southeast governors there now, they are political leaders. Honestly, you know, I cannot, because the governor Oti is in a Labour Party, I will not say he's not the political leader of Abia State. And I cannot say because Governor Peter Mba is in PDP, and I will not say the political leader of Enugu State. They are political leaders. They are leaders of the state. Once you are no longer the governor. The present governor is the leader of the state. So they should consult. They should find back in and back out. This doesn't hurt because there might be things we know they will not know. There might be things they know we don't know. Two heads are better than one. So, and you cannot do this insurgence, these things happening there. You can't do it without intelligence. It's intelligence that I use in concrete. When I came to be governor, you cannot enter Aba in those days. There was a big problem with Igbo Alhaji, what they call Igbo Alhaji. But I came in, people hijacking the buses on the road and all the rest of it. But I cleared all those things. After clearing, the governor of Anambra State invited me. I had a series of meetings with him. He was not shy about it. And I was able to clear Onitsha, clear Newi, and clear some of those places because they are my in-laws. My wife is from Anambra State, so as you know. So it is a thing, a joint thing that people should do because it's not just being shy about it. People should not be shy about security. We need to fight for security. Because when I established Bakassi in Abia, I didn't establish it to settle for boyfriend or girlfriend or husband and wife or settle people who are buying land. No, I settled it to clear out the criminals because the duty of a government that cannot protect their people and their properties, and the people might go to be questioned whether they are government at any level. The first duty of a government is to protect life and property. So that is it. So every government, whether it's federal or state, they should take the issue of life and properties of Nigerians very serious.
All right, Senator, Siminalayi's arrest, is this capable of bringing peace to the region? And do you think he should be tried in Nigeria?
What? Say it again, please.
Siminalayi's arrest, is this capable of bringing peace to the southeast region?
Say it again. It's from your wire.
Senator, Siminalayi's arrest, is this capable of bringing peace to the southeast region? Do you think he should be tried in Nigeria? That's the question, sir.
Oh, if who should be tried in Nigeria?
Yes, Siminalayi.
Oh, Simon Ekpa. Oh, well, he could be tried anywhere, depending on who is trying him or what they are trying him for. If I didn't arrest him, you didn't arrest him, Nigerian authorities didn't arrest him, wherever they arrested him should try him. They know why they arrested him. And if he's here, and if he's arrested in Nigeria, he'll be tried in Nigeria. Since he's arrested
Senator, you don't know why he was arrested?
He'll be tried in Finland. I don't know. No, it's only the people that arrested him there know why they arrested him there. I'm not saying it in a sarcastic manner. No, I'm just saying it's only them that there knows why they arrested him, and they will try him there. That is the truth.
All right. I want us to talk about the appointment of Bianca Ojukwu and what it means for the southeast region.
What is wrong with it? What do you want to talk about it?
How impressed are you?
Well, the president has made an appointment. I don't question the president when he makes his appointment. It's his choice, and it's nobody can question any leader.
Senator, it's not a matter of questioning the president's authority. What does this appointment mean for the southeast region?
Well, I think it's the president's choice because, you know, it's a good appointment. The lady knows her job. In terms of giving her job, the lady will do the job. And I feel the president did well by bringing back the woman on the good track for people to see. It means a lot for people of Anambra State and people of Igbo land.
Senator, you do not sound convinced or impressed about that appointment. Are you doubting her capability and capacity?
No. She's a very hardworking woman. She did a lot when she was ambassador in Spain. And I think the president are putting her in a very good ministry. No, I'm not questioning. She's a very nice woman, very forthright and very hardworking woman. But it's just that I cannot dabble into appointments made by President and Commander-in-Chief of Nigeria. So the decision is the president. Anything about cabinet is the president's choice. It's not the choice of Orji or choice of you speaking from there. So it's the appointment made by the president, so we should support it.
All right, let's talk about other matters. What more do you think the president needs to do towards revamping the economy?
Well, I think the president is trying on what he's doing, and the president cannot revamp the economy in 1 year, 1 year and 15 months. It's not going to be possible. And I know we have a problem. We have a real problem. And what the president is doing and what he's supposed to do. But my advice always, whether it's in secret or in public, is that when we implement what the IMF and the World Banks are telling us, we'll also go middle course and look for Nigerian economists to also apply our own common street sense that will be able to save our people from being hungry. Our people should also apply, because the far tigers, when I mean the far tigers, means the Asian tigers, they were prepared by IMF, but also they also apply local sense in what they are doing. So I've always said the president should also find a local sense to make sure, yeah, they're on it, they are doing it, but we should also put some Nigerian jara to make sure that our people are not hungry.
Senator, let's stay on this because, economists say the task of putting Nigeria on the path to economic prosperity is enormous and requires transformational and drastic changes. The president has highlighted his economic reforms, going by his decision to remove fuel subsidy and reform the foreign exchange system. And for him, these actions were necessary to reverse the decades of economic mismanagement. And I'm asking this particular question because I remember when President Buhari was in power, he was criticized for not floating the currency and not removing fuel subsidy. If there was an outcry about non-implementation of these policies during the Buhari era, today there is also an outcry over the implementation of the same policies. How do you react to this? One, does it mean Nigerians are highly resistant to change? Are we really ready for the kinds of development we're yearning for?
If I tell you what I want to tell you, you might be shocked. Nothing will make our foreign exchange or economy to improve only when people bring out the dollars they keep at their homes. Because you can't dump dollars. People are leaving the bank, leaving the banking system. You cannot trade with two currencies in the country and you want the economy to be well. You cannot be trading dollar and naira on the street of Nigeria. You see civil servants, they are asking for dollar. You see politicians, they are asking for dollar. You see market woman, she's asking for dollar. Unless you stop the dollarization of our economy, nobody, if you allow me, nobody should accept dollar on the street of Nigeria. It become a big offense. I don't want to say capital offense. In the Catholic Church, we don't support capital offense. I could have said it would be a capital offense not to see anybody with dollar. If you go to, I went to UAE in 1989, as long as that. That was first time I went to Dubai. It was Sharjah. The dirham is still 3 point something to a dollar. And it's the same thing today. Because there's nobody in UAE that will accept dollar from you. If you go to Singapore, nobody takes dollar from you. If you go to UK, nobody takes dollar from you. It's only in Nigeria that you can even dash somebody. Even my grandmother will tell me, oh, I don't prefer Naira, give me dollar.
Senator,
So,
allow me
how
jump
do you
in
want to build
here.
an economy?
I do apologize. Allow me jump in here because of time. And this is still about policies and reforms. The most recent is the tax reform bills. Despite several briefings by the Presidential Committee, why is there
No, you must listen to the dollar. You can confirm me or not. No, let me, go ahead.
Why is there so much pushback from some northern stakeholders? And where do you stand, Senator? So you can juxtapose both situations.
No. You cannot, don't be, Jumoke, don't where, you know, where I stand is where I stand. Let me tell you, the bills were not, they are very good bills, but they are not communicated to the people. But I think my advice now, I'm sure the Senate President will have the exhaustive meeting. My advice and other senators advise that we should pause legislative process on that bill to come back to discuss with our colleagues from the north and the south. It's not only the northerners. Many people are opposed to the bill because they didn't explain to them. They didn't market the bill. They didn't explain to them. But I have gone through the bill. If there's anything that is not good in the bill, we will remove it. It's unconstitutional. Anything that's unconstitutional, anything that violates by sharing, we can discuss it. There's nothing that cannot be discussed.
So do you think the bill is perfect? Senator, having read the bill, do you think it's a perfect bill?
The bill is, nothing is perfect, but it's progressive. It's a nice bill, but it's a bill that if somebody say you are taking more percentage out of him, we can sit down and negotiate about the percentages, which is causing trouble. But the bill should not die because the bill is a progressive bill. And, you know, listen, Jumoke, you know, people like me are people who speak our mind. But they did not explain this bill. They did not listen to those opposed to this bill very well. But this bill, if you don't go back and study the bill very well, there's nothing that is perfect in life. In everything you do, there is bad, good, and ugly. So there are things that are not very palatable to people opposing the bill. And they know why they're opposing it. They are not idiots. They just don't want to be. Let's not put Nigeria into problem. Let's not just put President Tinubu's presidency into problem. As a legislator, as a people making the law, we are already in process of making the law.
So are you advocating for
National Assembly? What
so are you advocating for wider consultations, Senator?
I'm advocating that we should put the bill in a legislative pause, and consult more. President will invite the stakeholders. National Assembly will go out and speak to the stakeholders. I saw what was happening in another TV station this evening, and it's impressive. That is, I saw Dogora, I saw Professor Yedide, one of the best professors that made this bill. I mean, let me be honest with you. What people have not been able to explain to people. You don't just tell people, we will do this, and you put shit into their mouth. We need to explain to Nigerians what you mean. Like I told somebody, people tell, oh, Tinubu just want to buy over Nigeria and put it in his pocket like he did the tax in Lagos. No, this tax is for Nigerians. Let us go back and see how we can do it. Because those who are complaining have a reason. Those who are not complaining also have a reason. So let those who are complaining and those who are not complaining, let us sit down and be able to smoothen the rough edges and move forward. This is democracy. Democracy is not what you just come and drop anything. Everybody will agree with you. I don't blame anybody who disagree. Because if I don't understand what you are selling to me, I will not listen to you. But the bill is very progressive, Jumoke.
He could talk say the Southwest get more appointments than the southeast. But Senator Orji Kalu now don come out and say southeast people dey happy with President Tinubu, say because he give them better appointment. So Orji Kalu dey talk go one side, Abaribe dey talk go another side. The southeast no get one house, and no dey talk in one voice. You understand? Because it become like say the relationship where me, I say na relationship. Orji Kalu and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu dey get cordial relationship. So you no wan talk that on a guy. He go every time go dey supporting guy. You understand? You know, they agree say in fact when you ask am about the economic situation of this country, go tell you say Tinubu dey try im best, say things go dey better. When dey obvious now, the poor policy implementation of this administration, now they put Nigerians into abject poverty when we dey see so. You understand? But Abaribe go talk differently. Orji Kalu go talk differently. Understand? But Abaribe self, his reasons are cogent. We cannot contradict his reasons. We no dey wonder how one state for southwest go get many ministers, whereas some full region sef na only junior minister they get. Even some APC members they complain the same thing. But Orji Kalu dey talk something different. You understand? Now they chop the money. I did my day. You understand?